Hello everyone, thank you for being here to watch this clip. I'm afraid my videos are being restricted, and so if you can, please subscribe and press alerts, and that will make sure that they get through to you. The situation in Gaza has got so bad with starvation and people being shot who are desperately looking for food that there are a number of initiatives that have been made to try and get this message across that we must stop this siege. One was the flotilla. As we can see from last night, Israel intercepted the flotilla, so therefore all this aid isn't getting through, and also the media are mocking people like Greta Thunberg for her efforts, which is appalling. What I'm doing this Thursday is joining the March to Gaza, which is taking place with thousands of people from over 50 countries. We're going from Cairo to the Rafah crossing, and on the way we'll be going to Al-Arish on a bus, and then walking from Al-Arish to the Rafah crossing. I'm going to just show this video of two interviews with people involved in the March to Gaza. One is Melanie Schweizer, who's part of the German delegation, is also in the international organising committee for March to Gaza. And the other is with Moz, who is part of the organising team for the UK delegation. So I hope you can enjoy these videos. And as I say, please subscribe and press alerts. I'm joined on the Crispin Flintoff show by Melanie Schweizer. How you doing, Melanie?
Hi, good. Thank you for having me.
Well, we spoke earlier about your dismissal as a civil servant in the federal ministry in Germany. And, the shocking story about what's going on in Germany, but we're seeing it over here in the UK as well as the censorship. Nothing seems to be getting through to people. Maybe there's a slight mellowing by some politicians in this country on it, but not enough. So I'm really excited about this march to Gaza that's taking place next week. Um, and you are part of the organizing committee, but you're also the spokesperson for the German delegation. What's so great about this for me is that there's people from all over the world doing this. I know that in this country, it's about 100 people so far that are going to Cairo and then taking the trip to Rafah. How is it in Germany? What does it look like generally across the world? If you're in the organizing committee, you must know much more than me about this.
Yes, thank you so much, Crispin, for making space for this important topic. I think these movements that we're having right now, at least for me, personally, it's giving me some hope. We are in an international cooperation coalition with the Freedom Flotilla and the Sumut Convoy, which is a humanitarian convoy initiated by Tunisians, and they are more than 7,000 people who are coming by buses and cars through North Africa and intending to enter and come with us. We all are planning to arrive at the same dates, roughly, at the shores and in front of Gaza to end the siege, to increase pressure on Israel, of course, but our national governments as well, because we know that our governments are complicit in this genocide, very much so. And you mentioned the situation in your country, but for Germany, I can say right now, the foreign minister of Israel is visiting Germany. Before that, the president of Israel has been visiting Germany, and the president of Germany and the foreign minister went to Israel and had, a nice lunch in a place next to Gaza where people are being starved to death. This is in a concentration camp, which by now I think we can label it an extermination camp. I don't have words anymore, to describe the evil, the saddest behavior, and this complete immoral and lawless situation that we are in, and it's really hard to find words around this, but it is not acceptable. And we, as the population, we are firmly against this. Even in Germany, where you still have like difficulties and people, and of course you have a huge campaigning around this because the German history is being instrumentalized, anti-Semitism is being instrumentalized to keep this genocide going. But the circumstances and the status quo as it is unacceptable, and it's we have to be, able to answer ourselves later. What have we done, and was it enough, and was there more that we could have done? So this is the reason why we initiated this march, and it has been. The idea came from many different people at the same time. And you know how it is when you start thinking about something and then you talk to people and then you hear from someone, but I've heard there is someone else also organizing. So this is basically how we found out about each other. So me personally, I found out about Dr. Hisham from Switzerland. He had been organizing that. And then there was Saif from Spain. He had also been organizing in that. So which is actually, amidst of all this horror and really surreal reality, that's a beautiful semen, that you can find every now and then. And we just picked up on that and decided to put them all together. And this is how we have by now managed within a very few weeks to gather 54 countries participating. So we have 54 country delegations. We are more than 2,500 people confirmed coming to Cairo, plus the 7,000 from Tunisia. And then we have the Freedom Flotilla, which is 12 people, but it's very symbolic. And I mean, in the end, we are also symbolic. We are the people who can afford to do this time-wise and money-wise, right? There are hundreds of thousands, millions of people in our back, who are at home, who for various reasons cannot travel. But then we have started a crowdfund campaign in various countries where we gathered tens of thousands of euros in a very short time as well to finance, to refinance for people who cannot go but want to contribute, and for others who want to go but don't have the funds. So we managed to do that as well. Like we could sponsor 22 people in Germany by that to make it possible for them to fly. The rest of the money now we have decided to spend it on the logistics, on the tents that we want to buy there, high quality tents, and to leave them in for humanitarian organizations to deliver them to Gaza, because of course, as we all know, there's nothing left in Gaza. There's no over 90% of the houses have been destroyed for 2 million people. They have no shelter. Nothing really gets in. This situation is completely ludicrous. I mean, I don't have to tell you, you know that, but it's outrageous. And you know about the story with the foreign minister and the president of Germany having lunch there. For me, it's incomprehensible how, we all watching the Zone of Interest and praising the movie about the Holocaust and the concentration camps, and how, this whole barbaric crimes and atrocities have been normalized. And what is this? I mean, what is having lunch 12 kilometers away from an area that is not even a quarter of the size of Berlin, that's completely concealed, where people are regularly subjected to indiscriminate bombing, especially targeting children. People are being sniped to death. I mean, there's so many things. And the things that we have seen in the last months and years is just, it's, for a normal human being, it's also not possible to process, children with their heads cut off, children with their limbs falling off their bodies. And like this cruelty, I would have never imagined that this would be possible, in the sense of being live streamed, and our governments justifying it and gaslighting us into a situation where they think we would accept it, but we don't. In Germany, we have 80% of the population that is fiercely against this politics, and still they keep doing it. And I think it's time to show that we are in power. We are the people who finance these politicians with our tax money, and we are the ones who decide in the end, what these politics are. I mean, this is up to us, and if it's not respected by the politicians who are responsible to represent us, then we have to take it on the streets.
Right. Well, look, you've said everything there. You're very fluent at saying what's going on and what this is about. I love the idea of these 7,000 Tunisians joining a whole over 50 countries worth of people, delegations. I've never been to Africa before, ever, so that will be fun. And I don't know what it's going to be like, but the idea of everyone joining together symbolically is powerful, and I want to document that, and I want people to see that that's the case. And these aren't all eccentrics; these are normal people from all over the world who are fed up of seeing what they're seeing, and hearing about people dying on a scale that is biblical.
We have this march. This is a grassroots movement that has been initiated by by individuals, really in the end, not by NGOs. And I have to say, here in Germany, various NGOs I requested endorsement and support. They declined, almost all of them actually. So just for background information, and the people who organized it they are doctors who have served themselves in Gaza a few times, and they are Palestinians in the diaspora, and they are allies, like me, for example, who were never there or who don't have a background, but who simply cannot accept that this is happening in our names, and yeah, this is how this was built and is growing, for people who want to know, like, from whom is this coming and who are the initiators. And you can find out much more on the homepage, www.net, marchtogaza.net. I just also want to say that now we have a number of parliamentarians who are joining. So we have members of the European Parliament joining this march. We have lawyers. We have judges. From Spain, there are judges coming, and we have people from Japan, from Morocco, from Algeria, from all over the place. And we have, because we also, in our social media accounts, we receive a lot of messages, and it's really stunning. It's actually very, very touching. People from Gaza are writing us, we want to take part in this march. And so we have a graphic designer who is now in Gaza. She's from Gaza, and she's doing some graphics for us, so it's so beautiful, and people who fled the genocide and want to join. Of course, we also advise people that this is dangerous for them. This is a dangerous journey. I just want to make this also very clear. This is not it's not like any other holiday that you would do. It's definitely not a holiday. It's a march, and you have to be prepared for disruption. We also have to be prepared that in the end we might not get the permission from the Egyptian authorities. From the beginning we have been very open and transparent about what we are intending to do. It's a basic human right to march, but of course we are international, and in Egypt, the national law is that you need to have a permission to protest, and especially the road from where we intend to walk, which is from Al-Arish to Rafah, is a military zone. So no one gets in there anyways without the permission of the Egyptian military, but also Secret Service and so on. So this is something that for people also who are attending, I hope they know, because we have communicated that in our channels and everything. But who are thinking about doing it, there is a chance that the Egyptian government will in the end say no, we will not allow you to walk there. In this case, we all agreed from the beginning that we will still go to Cairo anyways. Then we will decide on the spot what we are going to do, if we're going to stay in Cairo or if we are going to try to negotiate further and get the permission and get as close as is possible. Yeah, anyhow, there are difficulties on this road. There could be the chance that we get deported, that we get searched, that, a variety of things. So people need to know that. And of course, like in any other travel, you should maybe check with the doctors for the vaccinations that are needed, or check with the travel advice, for Egypt, it should be hepatitis A and B, definitely, and the other ones, maybe look them up. And yes, so it's also a rough journey because if we get the permission and we will be walking through the desert, it's hot during the day, it's cold at night. We will sleep in tents, so we will have minimum, you know, food and water. I mean, sure enough, but it's not going to be like the best food probably that you will have eaten. And yeah, so this is just to know. And maybe I want to address a little bit also. We have had, every now and then, of course, with every movement people are doing, there's criticism, but we saw also that people have been criticizing, this from their own from various sides, which I think is very normal. But we are determined. We have heard the criticism, but we are determined that this is a chance to. This is something that we haven't tried yet, and this is a chance to get something started. We need to clearly say that we have tried what we thought was possible. And even if we don't manage to walk this time, right, then we will come again, just like the Freedom Flotilla, and we will have other ideas. And now we will have mobilized tens of thousands of people that have been connected, which is nothing that we are doing is in vain. Everything is part of maybe a history that's already written, but we cannot let this happen in our lifetime, and we cannot, allow for this endless impunity to continue. I just wanted to say that.
Right. Well, I'm joined by Moz. How you doing, Moz?
Hey, Crispin. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, thank you.
So you're a lot of organising. I mean, I know you've been doing a lot of organising. You've probably got no time for this at all. But what's this? What do you see the situation from the UK delegation? How's it been that way?
So actually, before I speak, I just wanted to say that I'm really glad you're joining us. Um, I've enjoyed the content you produce. I've watched it before. I've never been a subscriber, um, but I've really enjoyed your kind of like earnest and kind of honest journalism, and I'm glad you're going to be reporting with us. So, from the
Thank you.
UK perspective,
Money's in the post, yeah. Right, right, okay. Right,
yeah,
right.
bring it with you.
Yeah,
Um,
okay. All right.
yeah, so from the UK perspective, it's been a kind of like an organic growth. Really, I mean, just what Melanie said, we're not an organization. We've kind of instantiated on the spot, basically. And we when I first got a link to the website March to Gaza about a month ago, and joined it as a participant. And it's just kind of like people have really chipped in to help bring this together. So I'm not part of an organization. I'm just a normal bloke, and so many others have just really stepped up. There's people. You're on the group, so who's who, or you might have a bit of a flavor, but just to call them out, like, Uzma's efforts have been heroic. Dippy at the beginning, she was doing great stuff. Um, yeah, I won't bore everyone. Jim is going to be on Sky News in the next few days. We've got an inquiry from CNN. So, and these are just normal people coming with that, bringing their talents to make this a success. And original estimates, we were thinking maybe 50 people from the UK would join, and we've busted through that. We're like, I think there's 200 odd that have registered, and
100.
we're still processing their details, and you know, I'm expecting 150 plus will actually travel, but maybe all 200 odd of them that are registered will come with us. But it's going to be amazing. It's a moment. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, on some of these Signal, whatever groups there are, I mean, they're just like ping, 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 ping. I had to turn my phone off. Can't keep it. It's just constantly
Everyone's
going.
complaining. Everyone's
Everyone, and
complaining.
it's not even, what is it? It's Thursday. Everyone's going. It's like everyone's already saying what sort of what would we need to take, what kind of this and that, and it's kind of
Yeah.
go
So we've
by.
done our best. We've just done our best to get as much information, on in their hands. But human nature, isn't it? Nobody like reads the manual. They just kind of get on and like do it. But really, I mean, if any of them are asking questions now, read the docs, please. Read the docs.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, I'm looking forward to seeing you down there in Cairo. I don't know have you been to Cairo before?
Yes, we went on holiday a few years ago.
Do they still wear those Tommy Cooper things, or is that out of date now?
There might be a few with them. They'll probably try to sell you one.
Will they? Oh,
Yeah,
I might get one. Do you think I'll
yeah,
look like a tourist
yeah,
if I do that?
probably.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm aiming to do. Yeah.
I've actually
Look,
I've got like a sun hat, and like all my family's been taking the mick. But I think we're going to need it in the desert as well, to be honest.
oh yeah, and there's snakes apparently. Is that right?
Apparently, but I think they're scared of people, to be honest. I'm not
They're
worried.
not like the ones that would kill me, are they?
Maybe.
Oh
Well, we'll
God.
find out. There'll be anti-venom. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Oh, and I have to share a tent with someone.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Oh, okay.